Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am terribly sorry for taking forever to film. Life just kind of pulled in fast and I'm like, oh, you really should record, but I'm just gonna sleep instead. It was one of those things. I did still manage to buy more makeup. How did that happen? I don't know. Especially with the Sephora sale just finishing, I decided to take advantage, and yes, I got all of Pat's palettes. I love Pat McGrath's eyeshadows, and I know I've seen several reviews, there are different takes. I don't have a problem with them. And I think they really are collector's items, and it's silly to think because it's makeup and why would you collect makeup? I think of them as artistic gems to treasure, to keep. I know they have a high price tag, and it's totally up to you if that's something you feel worth investing in. If you don't use makeup often and you're a neutral person, it wouldn't make sense to buy Pat's palettes. I love color. I think I'm really great with makeup and I can make it happen, so that's why I bought them. Today we will go in with, I think it's the most popular palette out of all three because it's the most neutral, Mothership 2, the Sublime palette. I think this is like my favorite graphic out of all three. It's just so gorgeous. And then the sets that come with the eyeshadow palette, liners, and lipsticks, it comes in the box that just shows the whole graphic, and I wish I kind of had that so I could frame it. I'm not gonna lie. Not that you have to be reminded. Retails $125, but with the 20% off, it knocked it down to $100, which is still a lot. Less than Natasha's palette though. Another thing I noticed when watching the reviews is how people were annoyed that the palettes were not labeled and the shades were not labeled. Oh, it's so beautiful. I was like, this is Pat McGrath. I really think it wasn't a mistake. She didn't forget to put labels on the shade names. She probably did that on purpose. You see her Instagram feed is very artistic, she pulls from a lot of inspiration, and maybe she didn't want the shade names on the palette because it would kind of just ruin the experience. You have a name card, it comes in the box, so if you needed to, if you're presenting it, if you're filming with it, yeah, just pop this guy out, have it as a reference nearby, and you will be fine. I like that there are not names on the palette because this is not your basic palette, okay? Pat McGrath is not basic. I really think she designed the palette to not have names on purpose because it is just a black lacquer box of heaven. And yeah, maybe she didn't want to have the shade names on here because it just like, if anything, maybe she could have put it here because it does says Mothership here, and you could have put Sublime, Subversive next to it. But again, you will have to take the palette out, flip it over to see whatever. I will just keep them in the box. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna keep them in the box so I know at least from memory which box is what palette, and I'll take it from there. Let me know what you think below. But I like it without the names, so let's move on. I've already reviewed and demoed Subversive. That's the one with the blue, the gold, and the purple shadows. If you want to see that video, I will link it above and down below. But let's get to it. Let's put this makeup on. I'm just gonna run through quickly using my Erborian BB cream base, which I've been loving recently because my skin's been doing pretty well, and I found that I don't need that much coverage right now. And with all these high coverage foundations coming out, it's like, I don't really need that much coverage, but okay. I'll be open to mixing them with foundations that I already have, but I tried Huda's foundation because I got a sample. I didn't buy it and return it. I got a tester, I got a sample. And it was like so much foundation. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of makeup. And granted, I probably went in with way too much product, and buffing it out was a nightmare. The foundation killed my beauty blender. It totally just obliterated it, and it was so full of product that I had to wash it again during applying so it could pick up more product and not look textured on my skin. And I'm not too compelled to try it again. Like, I really don't care. I have a lot of foundations that I love currently, and buying Huda's would just be like the new up and coming thing to see how it works. And I feel there are a lot of reviews out there now that are reviewing Huda's foundation. So there's enough resource to see if you want Huda's foundation or not. But right now, I don't need it. I'm fine. I like what I have foundation wise. And this is just a BB cream, but it has skincare benefits as well. It has an SPF of 35, and this is what I've been using. Again, because I used it a lot over the summertime and I wanted to try new foundations. You know how it goes. You got a lot of stuff in rotation. You just go. I think I'll do like a holiday haul video where I show all the things that I bought that are new, but I'll just touch on some things now. I did get the Rainforest of the Sea concealer from Tarte, which I was really surprised about. It bumped down to $13. It used to be $26, and when this first launched, I was like, I don't want to do it. It's too expensive. And of course, you know, I love Shape Tape. So when I saw this on Liv Loves Her Makeup, she recommended this concealer, and that it's significantly lighter and not as heavy as the Shape Tape, which I like for no makeup days where I don't want to commit to that much coverage, but it will still provide enough to even out my skin tone and just tackle the darkness that I have under the eyes. This is in the shade Tan, and I feel it's light enough to create highlight, but not so light for an intense contrast. I use my beauty sponge to buff that in. And I think that's pretty nice. It's not as intense as my Shape Tape, but sometimes I just want to go in light with the concealer and not commit to that intense coverage. And I have the Shape Tape here, so let's see. If I wanted, I have Tan Sand, which is a shade deeper than medium, and I just pop it right to the corner, right there. That's it. That's all I need. Take the corner of the sponge and buff that into where I need a little more coverage. That's where the darkness is most prominent, and the coverage will help even that out. And it's funny, I also follow Lisa Eldridge. I think she is a fantastic makeup artist, and she suggested when using Shape Tape that using a lot of Shape Tape, it doesn't look the greatest in person, and you see a lot of these beauty bloggers like just slap it on and they got like Shape Tape from here to here. It's like, there's a lot of concealer. And on camera it might look okay, but in real life it could look a little heavy and cakey, and that's why I'm trying to steer away from that application type method, to not go in as heavy and go in to just where I need it. Just when, you know, right here, right? I am baking so that it catches any fallout from Pat, and no shade to Pat, a lot of her shadows are very glittery, very pigmented, and I find that I had better success applying with a finger because it has a little more stick and it will stay on the lid instead of fall down to my face. And with that, I'll put extra powder right here so it could catch fallout on that area. Smile lines. I did get a new Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Compact because look at that. I'm almost done with this. I'm so excited. For someone that buys so much makeup and to see that they're finishing a product is like, I'm doing good. I'm not wasting stuff. And even though this is a powder pan foundation, it doesn't have a ton of coverage, which I like. So it sets my BB cream, just provides a little bit more coverage, but not so heavy that I look caked on. And it sets the BB cream, which I need because I'm gonna be out all day just for security. Doesn't move, doesn't start to break down. It'll stay on me all day. Brush a little bit on my brows because you gotta do these brows, and I'll be right back. Brows are on. Now I still want to carve out just a tiny bit with concealer, going in with NARS's Soft Matte Concealer. Finding my concealer brush slightly under the brow bone, just to clean up a little bit here. And I take it also to my entire lid for eyeshadow prep. Then I set that with some loose powder. Well, hello. I haven't even touched this yet. Look at her! No, this is deeper than the one in Subversive that I tried already, but I think I'm gonna go in with that first. Another thing that people were mad about is that it didn't have a transition shade. Again, Pat McGrath is a genius makeup artist. She ain't worried about transition shades, okay? Have you seen her eyeshadow demos on her Instagram feed? She don't use a transition shade. She goes in with the liner and shapes it into this really like gnarly edge, and she puts in this and that. It's really just fascinating to watch. I can't do that. In the event that we don't have a transition shade, right? I know I'm gonna apply bronzer, like that's a given. So I'm taking my Elcie bronzer, okay, in the shade Tan, and I'm gonna use this as my transition shade, which you can do at any time, by the way. Taking a fluffy crease brush, I'll start to work that into my crease. It's funny, a lot of these beauty bloggers compare it to like a typical eyeshadow palette, like, I don't know, Morphe. Morphe's gonna have a bunch of transition shades and whatever because they are designed for the average makeup person consumer. You can't compare Pat's palettes to those palettes. It's just not the same. It doesn't take on the same role, purpose. It's like you have to compare. You just have to take Pat's palettes on their own. That's it. Transition shades, get out of here. Taking a smaller crease brush now with this shade. That is labeled as the shade Dark. I'm going to start on the base of my lash line and work it up into my crease. I have a clean, fluffy brush on deck so I could go in and blend out the edges. Now that we've set that down, I think I'm going to go in straight with the green. What's her name? Blitz Emerald. This shade right here. And I'm going to apply this sucker. If you were to apply this on a black pot liner that you blended across the lid, or even a black liner that you blended, it will definitely give it a little more dimension. But this is such a beautiful color. Oh my god. I'm not getting a ton of fallout. I got a little bit there. And I will still go in with a wet brush to intensify a little bit and just to get more stick. Taking a flat shader with some Fix Plus over what I just applied, just layer it on there. So pretty. Look at that. I can't even right now. To clean up the edges, I do want to apply one of these shimmery like satin shades that are not the same texture as Blitz Emerald. Blitz Emerald definitely has a lot more glitter, a lot more grit, not as gritty as the purple shade, but let me see here. Going in with this guy to the edges right here, just to soften that up. I feel we've lost some of the green. I go with my finger and just take it right to that edge, but I'm very careful so it doesn't spread too high and ruin what we just did. Now with this rose gold shade, taking a smaller shader brush and applying this to the inner corner part of my eye. I want to use Virtual Reality Nectar, and I want to see how that looks on top of Blitz Emerald. I'm taking some of my finger. Oh. Well, that's fun. That definitely brought in a new party altogether. The virtual reality shades and the astral shades that are in all palettes are really to transform and to layer. They're toppers. Anything you have already, it will help shift the color of the shadow to make it something else. I think it's pretty cool what it did. Oh, focus, hello. It's pretty cool what it did with the green. Would have I minded if it was all green? No, not at all. I just wanted to see. I wanted to see what it did. I think it's safe to wipe off the base, but I'm still being very careful in doing so because I do have a little bit of fallout on the inner part of my eye from Blitz Emerald, and that's just from packing it on, but it's okay. Taking my blending brush, I am going in with dark and just brushing that along my lower lash line. I'm taking my bronzer too with the same brush and pulling that right under the deep shade. Taking a little more bronzer with my tapered brush and just pulling the shadow out a bit more. I think we all want to see the gold, so let's do it. I do want to apply Blitz Emerald to the outer and inner portions of my lower lash line. Still though. Same pencil brush, now with Bronze 005. And the texture, definitely grittier than Blitz Emerald. It has a lot more separation, but I don't care. I'm just gonna use my Max Fix Plus. Take my time, dab that to the center between the Blitz Emerald shade. I'm putting Emerald on top of Virtual Reality because I prefer it just to be all green. I think I like that a lot better. So we're making an executive decision here. With my pinky and the bronze shade, pushing that right at the center to give it a little more pop. And I think pretty much the eyes are done. I love this green shade. It's really beautiful. I love it. I'm just cleaning up my shadow here, picking up any glitz and specks that might have escaped. With the pencil brush, I'm taking the, what's it called? Skin Show Glow to the high point of my brow bone. Nope, that's not gonna work. I need a flat shader. One of the Virtual Reality Nectar to my inner corner because I think that adds nice pop and nice shine. I finished the rest of my face going in with my Elcie bronzer, same one that I applied to my crease as a transition shade. Some new things that I picked up that of course I will go further into if you want to know. I've always wanted one of the or several of the Viseart blush palettes, and I thought given with the sale and all that it will be a good opportunity to take advantage. So this is the Plum and Bronze. I think I want to go a little bit of the Plum. These are very pigmented, very pigmented, and I want to go in, I think, with these shades first, see what we're dealing with. Oh, that's pretty. Let me know. I'll just do a swatch video dedicated to swatching my Viseart palettes so you see how they apply and all that stuff and the shades. I have the new NARS Man Ray Highlighter, which is stunning. I mean, look at those lips. Taking that on a more precise blending brush, and it's stiffer, so it'll pick up more product and lay it on there nicely. Because this is like that jelly kind of to powder pan formulation that I feel a fluffier brush will have a hard time picking up, but a stiffer one, I think you'll have better luck. And I don't know, man, like, I think I'm gonna outgrow my lash extensions. Because sometimes I just want to pick another lash look depending on the eyeshadows I apply. And with this, like, if you get eyeshadow on it, you kind of have to clean it so you could see the lashes against the eyeshadow. And it gets a little tricky because I apply a lot of eyeshadow, and when you have to clean your lashes, you don't want to mess up the work you did. So I think I'm gonna outgrow them and start wearing strips again. I'm still on the fence about it, but that's where I'm leaning towards, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think down below. Thought I'll show you some of the Permagel lip pencils that I purchased. This is in the shade Supernatural. It's like a taupey beige. And I really been loving the La Beija and Donatella combination. Where is she? I take La Beija first. Which shows up so orangey on me. And then Donatella, which is more of a pinky beige, I apply that to the center. And I feel it helps even out the browsiness of La Beija. It's a little better. And that's the finished look. What do you guys think? I am don't say obsessed. I'm in love with this emerald shade. It is outstandingly glittery, but still easy to work with. Not a ton of fallout. It's a dream. I also wanted to get in some quick swatches for you guys. So here are all the shades for Sublime. The shimmers are so smooth and buttery. I love the texture. You definitely see in Bronze and Bliss Emerald that these are the ones that have the glitters. The Astral shade, again, is gonna look super awful as a swatch, but again, it's meant to be a topper, a transformation shadow, so whatever you apply on top, it'll shift the shade. Each palette has that extreme black, and it is beautiful, super black, super pigmented, easy to use. I'm not angry about the palette not having a transition shade. I'll make it happen because most likely I will be applying a bronzer or even a contour of some sort, and I will use that on my crease to build up the look. Let me know down below what you guys think about Sublime if you have it. I know some of y'all already are loving it, and I'm happy that I listened to the pro Pat McGrath group in just buying all of them because they are so different. And I love makeup. This is an investment. I know I'm gonna use them, and I could work the palette. I'll find different looks to create with different shadows and all that stuff. So I might not be buying a lot of stuff for a while, you know what I'm saying? This is definitely the holy grail in terms of what shimmery, glittery eyeshadow pans are. It's really hard. It's very difficult to come at that level. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't buy Rihanna's holiday palette, because although they're beautiful shadows and they're all shimmery, so are Pats, and I think Pats are better in quality, in application, and it's just a more beautiful palette to have. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here next time with another chit chat, get ready with me demo or review. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.